Hey, what's up, everyone? Corey here with MileSplit. We got Brian Dybel sitting in Travis's seat for today.
Oh yeah.
So maybe not as many hot takes today, but welcome to MileSplit Live presented by New Balance. It's going to be a great show for you today. We also have our marketing guru, Trent, in the background.
What's up, everyone?
T-Money.
So our show is going to be really good today. We have two athletes talking about their commitment today. One of them actually is going to reveal his college commitment here on MileSplit Live in a few moments. So get ready for that.
Big
But
stuff.
first, we're going to start with National Performers of the Week, as we always do. And these two win a MileSplit annual subscription.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is the first time, right?
Yeah, on the boys' side, Paul Stafford from Lake Wales. He won the FSU Pre-State Invitational. Obviously, he got a lot of exposure from that win. Also wins National Performer of the Week, so congrats to Paul out there. And then on the girls' side, Olivia Stice, our Flow 50 number 3 ranked runner on the girls' side. She won for the girls' National Performer of the Week. So congratulations for Olivia and Paul, both getting annual subscriptions to MileSplit. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So make sure over the week, keep an eye on milesplit.com. We have cross-country coverage all week long, including the Utah State Cross-Country Championships. That's happening on Wednesday. Keep an eye out for that. But first, we're going to go to our interview with Eric Edwards out of Langham Creek, Texas. The senior is the top returning hurdler in the nation, is looking at a bunch of high-level Division I schools, and he's announcing his commitment right now with us today. We're going to toss it to Eric right now. How you doing, Eric?
How you doing? I'm good.
You have a big choice to make right now.
Yes, sir.
What's going on? What do you want to do here?
Well, I'm about to reveal to the world where I'll be spending the next 4 years of my life.
All right. Well, without further ado, yeah, for sure.
Yes, sir. I will be continuing my education and academic career at the University of Oregon.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Nice, dude. Nice.
They're a pretty good program.
Go Ducks.
They're a pretty good program. Now, Eric, you're right off a great junior year where you won a Pan American Junior Championship. You set a junior class record in the 110 hurdles at USA Juniors, 13:32. I mean, the best season probably you could have imagined. Coming off of that, what are your thoughts, with this commitment? How does it feel to sort of, get that choice down for you and commit to Oregon?
Oh man, it's just well, number one, it's a blessing, and two, it's a drive. Because I realized I have a target on my back this year, and my past competition in the class of 18 is still here, so it just leads me to keep going, keep pushing. And my main goal this year, break Wayne Davis's record in the 110-meter hurdles, 13:08. So stay tuned for that.
And so you visited Ohio State, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, and Oregon, obviously, as well.
Yes,
so
sir.
what separated each school from the other, and why did you ultimately choose Oregon?
Well, each visit was great. Each school was great. They all had their own ups and downs. But when I looked at the big picture, I just had to find out where I felt the most comfortable. And Oregon was that place for me, even though it is really far away from my home.
What kind of made you feel that comfort there at Oregon? What kind of resonated with you when you went?
Really just the team. Like, I felt comfortable with the team. I felt I could be myself. And the level of competition there is just it's crazy. Like, how the team pushes each other. I really enjoy that, how it's really competitive just at practice. So it's unimaginable how it is at the meets.
Yeah, how do you think that's going to help with your development? I mean, you got Joseph Anderson, who graduated last year, running there now, Shay Anderson on the girls' side, and then Emily Salone just committed from the class of 2018 as well. How do you think that's going to impact your development, the next 4 years once you arrive there?
Oh man, I think it's gonna be crazy. One, we're gonna be like a hurdle dynasty, and then two,
Hashtag Hurdle Dynasty.
I like that.
competition's gonna be crazy. Just at practice, gonna be going at it. Cause me and Joseph, I haven't got to run against him much until the end of the season, but when we did, it was really competitive, and I enjoy that level of competition. So I'm really excited for that. It's gonna be hot at practice.
Ultimately, do you look for that competition that maybe allows you to get better? So going up against a guy like Joseph Anderson every day, do you feel like that's why you chose Oregon? That's going to allow you to get better in time?
It was a big part of my decision. Yes, it was. Like, just going against that high level of competition, U.S. number 1 and 2 in the nation in the same school, having that competition right next to you in practice, that will only make you better. So, that played a big role in my decision.
Well, this is a big moment in your life, and obviously going on these official visits are really cool. You know, you get to experience different parts of the country and explore different universities. Was there like a series of moments or a specific moment that made you choose Oregon?
It was. You know, a lot of people, before you take your visit, they're going to tell you, oh, you know, or go where it feels comfortable. And they were right. When I was in Oregon, I was just comparing Oregon to my other visits, and I was like, yeah, this, yeah, that. But, like, on that second day, after we got done watching practice, I just went to sleep and then thought about it. I'm just like, dang, this is really where I want to be. I really enjoy this place.
Was there a particular athlete at Oregon who was like the pitch man or the pitch woman that, you know, kind of helped you along the process?
Well, I mean, when I saw Devin Allen walking around casually just training with everyone, I'm like, oh, okay. And then, yeah, and then so him and Joseph Anderson was a big reason too.
So then, you know, looking at these visits, what was like the craziest pitch that you heard from coaches from recruiting? Was there any kind of thing like, you know, absurd or anything different? Or maybe what one of the...
I mean, they all want you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this one coach, it's funny. He told me he was like, okay, so we want you, but we can't have you. Like, we were talking for like the longest of the time. Like, I thought I was gonna go there, you know, go on a visit, and everything was gonna be smooth. And he was just like, yeah. He told me last minute. Like, I was texting him in June. He told me last minute, like in September, a week before I took my first visit. He was like, yeah, we want you, but we can't have you. And I'm just like, what? Like,
wait, why? Why?
He said because he said it was money reasons. He said he would give me a 30%, but he didn't want to give me a 30%. And so, yeah, it was really strange. I was like, okay.
That sounds crazy. So,
yeah.
Like, I guess to change it a little bit, what was the coolest stadium that you went to? You know, because I see a lot of tweets, like you guys get to go to a lot of football games and stadiums. What was that atmosphere like, and kind of did that sway or help you at all, like being in that kind of environment?
Yeah, most definitely, because the fans in Oregon, like, I'm in Texas, and so football is held at a way higher level than track is. But track is still popular in Texas. But at the University of Oregon, it was just like track was held on the same level as football. It's just like people bought season tickets for it. It's just crazy.
That like perfectly leads into the next question I had in mind is, you know, Hayward Field there at Eugene, Oregon. You know, just there's a magic, there's a lore to it. If you've ever been up there during competition and things, like, you know, did the idea of running there have any sway as well?
Yeah, it really did. Like, you know, growing up just watching track, watching NCAA championships, it's always in Oregon. And it's just like, dang, I would really want to be there one day. And then when I went there and we're just watching them practice there, I'm just like, they get to do this every day. Like, it's incredible. It was an incredible feeling.
So you had a big decision. It's off your chest right now, and you kind of have a lot of like flexibility now. But you have a year left, like you said. You have a lot of time to sort of meet expectations and prove the doubters wrong if there aren't any doubters. So what are goals for you this year, Eric, as you finish out your senior season?
Well, the main goal is to beat Wayne Davis's record, 13:08, in the 110-meter hurdles. But my coach set a goal for me, which it can be attainable with a lot of work. He wants me to be the first high school ever to run a 12 in the 110 hurdles on 39.
Yeah, that's high. That's high. That's high.
Yeah.
Possibilities there, but like, you know, out of everyone in the nation right now, you're one of the best. And if there's anybody that can do it, I feel like you're one of the guys that can.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on our show and announcing your commitment, Eric. This is a big moment for you. So congratulations and have fun today. And we will talk to you soon for sure.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
So Eric Edwards commits to Oregon. They only get better.
I know, that's crazy, man. Another Oregon Duck, like, especially after Joseph Anderson, like, that makes a lot of sense what he said. Going there and having those guys to train with and to be able to run with Joseph every day and just work and have that kind of guys pushing you, like, that just helps so much in training. Like, to have somebody there. And
if you're a recruit going to visit a university, it's usually sort of the program is one of the best pitches that a college can give, or the athletes themselves. themselves, like who goes there and sort of the program. But Oregon's the best of both worlds. They have the athletes and they have sort of the facilities too.
Well, yeah, for him in the hurdles, with the history there that they've had in the hurdles, we talked about, he said Devin Allen walking around campus, just training with the guys. Like, it seems like a great fit for him.
Yeah. Well, this is a fantastic start for the show, but we also got our man Chauncy Smart out of Auburndale High in Florida. He's a graduate from 2017, went to USF, but he recently announced on Twitter that he is transferring to the University of Miami to compete full-time in track and field. So that is a big coup for the Hurricanes. They're going to be so good. We're going to call Chauncy right now on the phone and try to get him in an interview. So this should be fun.
So, yeah, I mean, like looking at Miami and the Hurricanes, like I know a guy from Texas, Brandon Miller, went there. That's just a huge pickup for Miami in Chauncy Smart and just the speed that he brings.
Hello?
Chauncey, hey, what's up? Can you hear us?
Yes.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
So I'm here with Brian, and we're talking to obviously one of the top sprinters in the nation from last year. You decided to transfer to Miami, and you announced it on Twitter last night. Can you just talk us through that decision for you? Why did you decide to make that decision? Over the last couple of weeks and even yesterday.
Decided to come to the track world, or come back to run the track. You want to know?
Yes.
Well, I made that decision because I feel like I can go farther in track than football, honestly. And I feel like me actually focusing on track and strictly track and not worrying about like no other sports, I feel like I have the potential to get even faster and learn more stuff from coaches and possibly go to the Olympics. And that's my goal.
What schools did you visit during this process for you?
Like my whole process, even back in high school.
I would say no. Once you decided to transfer out of USF,
right. I only visited because I had top 10 schools, but my main focus was only on 2 schools, and that was Miami and Tennessee.
So, and you just came back from a visit to Tennessee. It's like almost immediately you make this decision. So how did you come to your choice on Miami after a visit this past weekend to Tennessee?
Well, I was thinking about when I was on my visit at Tennessee. I really enjoyed myself. I had a lot of fun seeing Kristen Coleman and stuff, and I mean it was amazing. But the only thing that was bothering me real bad was the fact that how far away I was from home, and I get homesick too fast. So that's what really like kind of made me make my decision fast, because I was like, yeah, Tennessee is a good school, but I can't really stay away from home that much because I want to be able to see my family. So that's what really made me make that decision in Miami. And then other than that, I told my mom whenever I made the decision. We talked about it, and they agreed with me, and I'm going to Miami.
Awesome, man. And obviously you're joining a great group of athletes there. Simone Mason on the girls' side, Hassani Knight, Brandon Miller from a couple of years ago from Texas. What's it going to be like to be able to train with this group of athletes and these kids?
Right, it's going to be pretty fun because it's going to be competition, and I mean, that's the main thing. That's really what I like about track, because especially now that I'm coming to a whole different level. I'm not in high school no more, so it's going to be people running the same as fast as me and even better. So that's going to motivate me to get better, and it's going to get me a lot faster because I'm training with people that's faster than me and that's about my same speed.
Awesome. And so I guess what ultimately led you, you talk a lot about how you want to get faster, you want to get better, you want to go to the Olympics, but what ultimately led you to decide, like, I don't really want to play football anymore? Was it just your heart's not in it, or, what's with
Right. I mean, I just saying, ever since I started playing football again. I ain't have that same feeling I had for it when I was like back in high school. And then also I was just thinking about, God forbid if I get hurt, then I can't run track, or something like happens and I can't play football or run track anymore. Those was the things that was going through my head. So that's what made me make my decision.
How do you think Miami's going to get the best out of you as a sprinter? As a high school senior, you ran 10.4 win legal, and you ran 10.26 all conditions in the 100-meter dash. So that's really where a lot of your talent's at, the 100-meter, but you've run really great 200-meter times too. How do you think Miami's going to get the best out of you in that event?
You said, do I think?
How do you think Miami's going to get the best out of you in the 100 meters?
How I feel about it is I'm a hard worker. So I mean, at practice, I like to compete, and I like to have fun. So I know they're gonna love me. I mean, I think to be honest with you, that this is how my mindset is. But I think I'm coming to Miami hungrier than anybody else, because I got a goal in mind, and that's the goal. I mean, like I said, that's to go to the Olympics. So that's gonna make me train harder, and my main focus is going to be the 100 and and also the 200, because I don't want to just be no 100 guy. I want to do more things and get better at the other things, and that's like the 200. So I mean, they're going to get a hard worker and somebody that's hungry, honestly.
Are you going to Miami this spring semester, and are you going to be eligible right away?
Yes, I'll be able to run. As soon as I get there, I'll be able to run indoors.
So what are the immediate goals for you as you step into your first full-time collegiate track and field season?
My goals is to, my goals coming into Miami and also running is just to have a good year, and then take everything in and learn from it. And I really want to have a good indoor season and drop my 60 time, because me and Coach Diego have been talking about that for the last couple of weeks about indoor season and how I'm a great indoor person. So I just can't wait to get there and work. And my main goal is just to run fast, honestly, and then take everything in and learn from it.
All right, one fun thing about you, Chauncy, as I've picked up about a month ago, I follow one of your former USF teammates on Snapchat. You are a magician, correct?
Right.
How often do you practice magic tricks, and what is your favorite magic trick?
I practice magic tricks on my downtime, so that's like almost every other day at around like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock when I'm done with all my homework. My favorite magic trick is, I have quite a few of them. But I'm gonna go with the simplest one, the one with the handkerchief, making it disappear.
Nice.
Have you ever tried to saw anybody in half, or is that a little next level?
Oh no, I'm not that good.
Okay.
Well, it's quite an honor to talk to you, Chauncy. Congratulations on your decision to transfer and concentrate full-time on track at the University of Miami. We're sure you're going to have a great collegiate career. Best of luck to you. I'm sure we'll also talk to you soon, all right?
I appreciate it.
All right, take care, Chauncy.
Awesome, man. See you later. Ooh, another big change there. I mean, to go from football to run track full time, you don't see a lot of guys do that. Most of the time, it goes the opposite way. Like, that's a big decision for him. But he seems fully hearted into it and just loves the sport of track and field. And that's what he said. He really wants to get back to those roots.
I know that the visit to Tennessee was a really great sort of moment for him. I think he loved Tennessee and what it had to offer. Christian Coleman came from the University of Tennessee, and Christian Coleman turned pro out of college, and he's one of our best sprinters in the U.S. Field right now. But like, that is a very real sentiment that you can be homesick from home, and it's a thing that a lot of athletes go through, and sometimes it determines where you go. But I thought that was really interesting that he kind of described what was going through his head in that moment.
Yeah, definitely. And then, also looking at it, just the team he's going to be around at University of Florida, like we mentioned, is a lot of great athletes and sprinters. So, again, another awesome decision.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Well, two great interviews from two of the best talents that we've really covered over the past 2 seasons. If you have recruiting news, make sure to contact us on Twitter at MileSplit, on Facebook. Make sure to maybe comment us. If you have any thoughts about our coverage, just get in touch with us. we'd love to hear from you. But we're going to move now to the best meet of the weekend, the Manhattan Invitational. Brian, you were there this past weekend.
Yeah, man, I was in NYC, Van Cortlandt Park. What a beautiful, it was a beautiful day for a meet there, first of all. Let's just start by saying that. What great weather, great performances. Having run the course in high school myself, it was kind of great to be back and revisit it and just kind of go through the memories of the trails and the back hills and all the things the athletes go through. Every athlete had to talk about or mention their sprint to the finish from because you can see if you've ever been to Van Cortlandt Park at all?
I actually haven't, no.
It's crazy, dude. You can see when you come out of the back hills, you come down and you can see the finish, but the finish is 500 plus meters away, and all these kids start turning on the gas like crazy. And they some of them run out of gas, some of them don't turn it on too soon. It's a crazy last little bit of the race.
Well, we had two main storylines that followed out of the Manhattan Invitational. One of the biggest team-wise was Fayetteville Manlius girls, absolutely dominating in the Eastern States Championship race for I think 22 points that they score, and their average was insane. But it was their first competition in nearly a month after Wayne Pre-State Invitational, and they won. Rather significantly, but the question is, does their win really, tell us looking forward that they are, the preeminent team going forward in the national scene?
I'm going to say yes, 100%. I think if anything, they have rejustified themselves to put them at the top tier in those rankings. They just crushed it. 22 points. It was just an unbelievable performance. And I talked to Bill afterwards, and he kind of had a little bit to say about some of what we've been saying here. And if Trent, you got that clip pulled up for us by any chance?
Brian from MileSplit here with Coach Aris. Can you talk to me about the girls' dominant victory today, scoring 22 points? Top three, going 1, 2, 3.
I'd have to go back a month. We ran and not very well at the State Meet Invitational in New York about a month ago, and we identified many areas for improvement, which fortunately or unfortunately the media, including some of your associates, were very critical of. Having said that, our incentive was to get our act together and improve. We were pretty poor that day, even though we won. 1 month of work produced the results I was looking for today, and the results that the girls were looking for. They broke our 5-man average by 10 seconds. They had a very convincing victory, but it was more than the victory, it was how they ran. I felt pretty good about how they ran, and they felt very good about how they ran today, so I was pleased with that.
All right, Bill had critics that were questioning FM.
I want to say, I think, the team went out and they improved. Just like he said, he admitted we didn't have the best race, in our careers or of FM's history. They race really well, and they didn't have the great race a couple months ago. But this time, I think they came out and they proved the haters wrong. They just crushed the course, those 22 points. Their speed ratings were off the charts. If you look at their speed ratings, 146, 144, 144, 138, 137, 126, 97. And then you compare those to some of the other teams that we have ranked, ahead of FM at the Clovis Invitational. The Great Oak Girls, 141, 140, 133, 120, 114, 112, and 106. Clearly FM has the better team scores on paper. And he said in the interview himself, that 5-man average, they just crushed it. Their 5-man average was 14.20, or their team average was 14.25.
Brian,
absolutely crazy from FM. I'm on board the FM train
I don't
again.
think you should be caught up in numbers, much like Travis is always caught up in numbers, and he memorizes them very well, but numbers don't always paint the full picture. I said this on Twitter recently that I think criticism at times, constructive criticism, is really good for any program because it allows you to see where you're at in a moment and to improve and focus on something to look forward to. I mean, criticism isn't always bad. And I love the fact that he called us out because Bill's actually watching or he's paying attention to what we're saying. That means that he cares. But also FM and speed ratings in particularly, they don't transfer course to course. It's a runner-to-runner measurement. So these times that they had on this 4K Van Cortlandt Park course, they go to Wayne again. I feel like they're going to have just as difficult time or transition as they did before. Maybe they're a little bit better because they've had a month of training to focus, but I mean, it doesn't get
they're
better
not just
after.
Better though, Corey. They're better than any other team that's historically FM team that's historically ran on the course. And if you look at even just the past 3 years, in 2016 they were 14:43 average, 2015 they were 14:36 average, and 2014 they were 14:46 average. Their average time this week, again, 14:25. Yeah. That's crazy. And guess what? They've won nationals
You look at what they did at Wayne pre-state, right?
But you're looking back in history. They are only moving forward and getting better,
Wait,
Corey.
Are you saying I can't look at past results, but I have to look forward at what they're doing now and in the future? I'm sorry, but like
you can
that
look
matters.
at those, but what really matters is what just happened. Like we've said over time and time again, what have you done for me lately? What has FM done? They just came out and crushed this field, crushed the competition, crushed, Corey. That's what they did. And I know you don't like when I use that word all the time.
Yeah, I know. But you look at, all right, I'm just going to say for reference, at Wayne, Phoebe White, Claire Walters, Grace Kircher, Palmer Madsen, Rebecca Walters. That was their top 5 at Wayne. And at Manhattan, they had their ideal 3. They had Claire, Sophie, Ryan, Phoebe White as their top 3. And then they had Palmer Madsen and Rebecca Walters. It's not the 1, 2, 3 that always worries these teams like FM or Great Oak or Naperville. It's the 4, 5, 6, and 7, and that's where these courses come into play because you can't determine how your back end's going to race all the time on these more difficult courses. This is a 4K course. It's out of the norm. It's an outlier.
It doesn't matter though. If you still look at the teams
to a 5K.
If you still look at how, like I said, I'm going to stress it again, the speed ratings say it all, man.
Speed ratings are dictate how runners perceive to enter into a meet. They're not the ultimate.
So if you entered FM girl, Great Oak girl, Naperville North, Buchanan,
you still have to perform at the meet.
You still would have to perform at the meet. And I think that Great Oak, the way that Bill Ayers coaches, they peak and they only get better.
They do get better, but I feel like this year, more than any other year, they're going to have a hard time in the national scene. They're going to win New York again, right? They're going to win the region meet, but once they get to the national scene, these teams are more talented this year. Great Oak specifically, Naperville North, they're going to have a harder time this year beating these better teams because, it's all about strategy in my mind for a team performance. And if they don't get ahead of some of the strategic, things that Great Oak does, then they're going to lose.
I don't think we're completely disagreeing here. What you're saying has some merit, but I still think that FM is the dominant force. They might have a tougher time, but they're gonna dominate. I think they still just what they proved here and what they did at Manhattan was come through and say, look, we're here to party. We're the FM of old, the always been here, the tried and true, the steady. This is FM.
You know what's
this
key?
is our team.
You know what's key? The very next race. And if they meet that expectation again, fine. But right now, the jury's still out on FM in my book. So we're going to move to Caitlin Toohey. Had a record-breaking run at the letter C race, of all things, 13:21.8.
I was absolutely speechless after that. Like, I almost didn't know what to ask her, to be completely honest. I was like, wow, this girl who's a sophomore just crushed this record that, 13:53. She goes 13:21. Like, that's destroying something that's been there. And you look at the list of girls. I got it pulled up right here. The list of girls that have run that course. Jess Lawson had it at 13:53. Carly Seymour, Nicole Blood. All these girls, and that's just a handful. Mary Kane. All these girls have gone on to do great things at the NCAA level and at the national level.
Right. A great indicator of where she could be in the future.
Definitely.
Nicole Blood's a 9-time All-American for Oregon, and Elise Cranny also from Stanford, 8-time All-American. I mean, the great things are in the future for Caitlin Toohey, and she's only a sophomore. It's kind of crazy to look at, but the question is, and I think this is a really valid question, does her historic performance at the Manhattan Invitational bear a potential title contending win at a national meet?
I said it right in the interview to her. I said, this clearly puts you as one of the favorites for the title in my mind. I think in my mind, she clearly is one of the favorites. Just going out and crushing that course the way that she did, like blowing away like these big names that we've listed.
Do you think she's going to win?
I think she's going to win. I think she's 100% capable of winning. I think that her mindset, the way after talking to her mindset is just tried and true and steady. She's got one out there and she's having fun with it. She's loving it and enjoying what she's doing. And, you might say that, she kind of ran. She didn't have to really think much about racing. She just went out and ran because she wasn't in the championship race. There wasn't as much strategy to it. But I think that, like, if she takes that mentality into every race, just go out and I'm going to go get that win, I think she can do great things.
Well, I'm going to start first with another athlete that's in New York that she's going to have to deal with, and that's Kelsey Camille out of Saratoga Springs. Kelsey Camille, as you might know, last year won at the state meet over Caitlin Tui. She won well, she was second NXR region. Caitlin Tui was fifth. At NY Federation, she won as well. Caitlin Tui was second. So she still has to beat this girl from New York that's just as good, just ran 1650 at Great American, and she's on the top of her game as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a duel, but I think that, after talking to her, that there's no doubt in my mind.
Okay, well,
it's easy.
You talk to her,
as
so
you talk to
believe
people, and kind of, it is easier to say, like, after I talked to her. She was a little persuasive, And
I don't know. I look at that.
I just liked her mentality and mindset about racing.
One of the things she said in her interview was that in this C race, she didn't have to worry about it being strategic in a lot of ways because she could go out and just sort of, like, hammer it the entire way. But in a championship style race at New York States or Federation or NXR, she's going to have to deal with better runners.
Have a plan a little bit more.
Exactly.
But so I think her coach and her realize that, though. I think that she'll be able to execute when the time comes.
Well, so Corey, real quick though, are you still Grace Ping, or are you?
Oh, that's a good question,
I do
Trent.
not
That's a
back
really
up
good
my
question.
claim, Grace Ping. I think we're going to see the best of Grace Ping in this postseason run. She just ran sort of an easy race, 19-something. So
Trent going and changing the conversation completely. Throwing Grace Ping right in your face there about
I still got Grace Ping for the win at NXN, and I think you and Travis now are on Caitlin Tui.
On the Caitlin Tui.
Twitter's on Caitlin Tui too.
Twitter's on Caitlin Tui.
What was the poll you
had?
64% say yes, Caitlin Tui will win a national title. So.
All right. Well, she ran really well on a 4K course, right? But 4K courses don't always translate to 5K, and I think she has to prove herself against much superior competition like Kelsey Camille, and Catherine Lee is going to get on her game too in New York, and we have a lot of other girls. So Caitlin Tui, great moment for her. She's going to have to back it up now. So as we move on to our next meet, that is on the schedule. The biggest meet in California this weekend is Mount Sac Invitational. Huge field. What are we going to expect here at one of the biggest meets in California?
Man, well, I'm excited. I'm going to be at that meet again this weekend, heading out to California now. I mean, just Great Oak's going to be there again. Just look at the dominant runs that they've had. Just some very impressive things from them. Can they continue that streak of dominance? What are we going to see out of their 4 or 5 girls, especially on the girls' side and, on the guys' side as well? Will they continue to do as well? Clearmont on the girls' side, will they continue to be what that team was at Clovis, or, will we see them falter a little bit? How are those going to mix up? There's a lot of top California teams in our rankings, and several of them racing here this weekend. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out and if they continue to be the way they were at Clovis, or if maybe some teams made drastic jumps or improvements.
Right. Claudia Lane ran the past 2 weeks. Malibu was entered into Mount Sac, so it'll be interesting to see if she runs 3 weeks straight. Palos Verdes, Davis as well, 2 perennially good girls teams are going to be there. And on the boys side, St. Francis Mountain View, who's ranked number 18 in your national rankings. I mean, that kind of came out of nowhere a week ago, so we'll see if they live up to expectations. And Dana Hills. My mind, I'm looking at the girls in Great Oak. If they're 4 and 5 and their 6 are up to par after a lot of discussion over the past couple of weeks, I mean, I think they're really a team that can silence the doubters. But Claremont is also going to be really interesting to watch too. Can they live up to number 8 national ranking for them as well? So if you're going to pick a winner on the girls or the boys side for Mount Sac, who would it be?
Man. I got to stay with the Great Oak boys. I think the Great Oak boys, just what they've shown us at Roy Griak and then at Clovis, I think they're still one of the best teams in the entire nation. They might even be challenging Loudoun Valley for that first place, but that's a whole nother conversation. Great Oak boys. And on the girls side, I think that the Great Oak girls, again, are going to take it out. I don't think Claremont, we'll have to see what they can bring, but I think the Great Oak has that on lock, with especially if those secret weapons that Doug Souls has run again.
I agree with you. I think Great Oak's going to lock it down in the girls race and on the boys race. I think they're one of the best in the country. So 2 wins out of Great Oak for both of us at Mount Sac Invitational, where Brian's going to be at. So this has been a very good show. Obviously some great interviews to start. Thank you for watching. It's been a blast. If you have any comments or insights to us, make sure to tweet at us at MileSplit or comment on Facebook. We're always welcome to hear them. And stay tuned next Monday for our next show. We will once again be talking recruiting, big meets, and some analysis. So thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
See ya.